Well, as you pointed out, a lot of folks are getting ready for this storm that's headed our way. State officials are now issuing urgent advice ahead of this winter storm.
Yeah, our Savannah Levins is joining us now live from GEMA's headquarters. Savannah, what are we learning from state officials at this hour as we get closer and closer to this weather event?
Well, Jennifer, Ron, we just wrapped up a press conference at 11 a.m. It was about 40 minutes of just an absolute information dump from agencies all across Georgia. If you missed that on 11 Alive Plus, just stick with me for the next 3 or so minutes here, and I'm going to break down the most important parts for you. But I think the overall takeaway is that crews are really anticipating that this will be the biggest ice storm Georgia has seen in at least a decade, and they're taking that very seriously. It's going to take coordination from crews all over, not only Georgia, but other states as well. We now know 500 National Guard members are standing by ready to deploy. More than 10,000 emergency response crews, including from Florida, ready as well. They're bringing up power crews from South Georgia up north to the metro and more north than that to respond to power outages as well. Some of the most critical supplies, we're talking food, water, blankets, those are going up to North Georgia. Here's what emergency response crews said that you need to know right now and need to do right now before this weather moves in.
The best help we can get is for individuals to be prepared and to stay informed. If you haven't already, take the time now to prepare your family and home for the winter weather impacts. Sit down with your family and make a communications plan. Know how you'll contact one another and reconnect if needed. Make sure you have a ready kit with enough non-perishable food, water, and medications for at least 3 days. Ensure you have warm clothing and blankets, flashlights and batteries. Update your first aid kit, and remember, always have a way to charge your phone. If you have pets, make sure they have enough food and water for 3 days and bring them inside with you as much as possible. Take precautions like installing and testing smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, covering outdoor pipes with styrofoam, sealing your doors and windows, and cleaning out your gutters.
All right, so the roads were a big part of the discussion as well. GDOT has 1,800 personnel at the ready, crews pre-treating roads as we speak with that brine from I-20 up to South Carolina and Augusta, I-85 from Noonan up to South Carolina, I-75 from Macon up to Tennessee, and Metro Atlanta and upwards. You see a lot of that impact up north. We're talking 18,000 miles of roadways, and to do all of that, it takes 12 to 14 hours just for that one loop. They started the first round around midnight and finished around noon. Those crews took a short break and they picked back up just about an hour ago around 12:30. Now starting tonight, they are adding 300 plow trucks with the heavy duty salt mix. That's the big stuff. They did say people staying off the roads is really going to help them do that efficiently and quickly. They did note that traffic has already been down 30 to 40% today, which they say has helped.
Our expectations of this is an ice event. This is not a snow event. This is an ice event. We're going to do what we can to try to keep the ice from sticking to the roads on the interstates and the state route system. Again, state routes, interstates are the high priority state routes. This is going to be a challenge as this weather comes through with freezing rain continually.
All right, let's talk public safety. Starting at 6 p.m. tonight through the overnight hours, there are 30 state troopers strategically placed along highways to respond to emergency calls. Tomorrow, that number will increase to 50 to 60 throughout the day. DPS also has drones ready to go up at any time to assess damage or issues anywhere that they're not able to drive to. They also have helicopter crews ready to move critical supplies if they can't transport them on the roads. They also have teams standing by to respond to any locations that need any extra help. Now, finally, we heard from some environmental folks, EPD, Georgia Forestry Commission. They say that Georgia's beautiful trees, frankly, are just not the type of species that can handle an ice storm like this. So they do say people need to be prepared for trees to come down. They need to be prepared for outages. They actually have chainsaw crews ready to deploy to some of those down trees as well to get to them as quickly as possible. Now, there are two major concerns that all of these agencies agencies seem to have when it comes to their response. The first is wind gusts. They say if the winds get too gusty, as it's looking they might be, some of these crews might have to stop, take a break. They won't be safe for power crews to be up, for example. Some of the crews treating roads might have to take a break as well, so that could delay power restorations and things like that. The other big concern that they repeatedly talked about was a potential melt from Sunday into Monday. So it's one thing, right, to pre-treat the roads now and get it all ready, but once things start melting and washing all that away, that could pose a potentially really dangerous situation. Now, if your power does go out, just before I go, I want to let you know that there are warming centers at 16 state parks across Georgia. You can find that information on our website, 11alive.com, or you can look up Georgia State Parks. It's all right there for you. And pets are allowed, by the way, if they're leashed.
You know, Savannah, you said you're going to give us 3 minutes of information dump, but that was so important. That was some
really
really good
was.
stuff. We really appreciate that.